Welcome to the St. Tammany Parish Planning Commission meeting of October the 1st. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Seeger. Robert. Here. Truxillo.
Here.
Doherty.
Here.
Narcisse.
Here.
Gaines.
Here.
Martino. Troncoso.
Here.
Milligan. Arcemont.
Here.
Walker.
Here.
Binnings.
Here.
Barrios.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum. However, at this time, if you'd like, we can appoint 2 alternates to achieve a larger commission.
Okay.
All right, so you'd like to appoint Nick Binnings and Harold Barrios?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Commissioner Binnings and Commissioner Barrios are now appointed.
Okay, thank you. All right, we got the appointment of alternates and call to order. All right, announcements. Pursuant to the section 200-2H9F of the Unified Development Code, members of the audience shall observe the following rules of conduct and decorum while the meeting is in progress. Refrain from talking to other members of the audience in a loud and otherwise disruptive manner. Refrain from initiating private conversations with commission members, staff, or legal counsel. Refrain from approaching the podium unless invited to do so by the chairman. Refrain from engaging in any behavior which is not in keeping with proper and courteous conduct. Refrain from cheers, jeers, applause, or any expression of approval, disapproval of comments made by any speaker or any actions taken by the commission. Refrain from discussing matters not on the published agenda unless procedures have been followed in adding the item to the agenda. Refrain from bringing any objects into the building and auditorium where the planning meeting is being held that is disruptive to the meeting. The chairman shall take whatever action is necessary to ensure these rules are observed and the meeting proceeds in an orderly fashion. Please rise for the invocation by Commissioner Arcemont and the pledge by Commissioner Narcisse.
Dear Lord, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. We also gather today to think of those who have been in this awful disaster, and ask that you pray, that we all pray and you guide them and give them the strength, the fairness, that you just assist them in everything that they're going through. Have mercy on them, please. We ask this through Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
All right, in your packets, we had the minutes from the September 3rd meeting. Commissioner Gaines.
Make a motion to adopt the minutes as written.
All right, Commissioner Gaines is accepting the minutes as written. Commissioner Arcemont.
Second, please.
Second by Commissioner Arcemont. Please vote.
Motion to accept the minutes as written carries.
Thank you. Miss Helen, we got any cases that need to be postponed? Helen's not here right now.
Let me go check.
Okay. Here she comes. We got any minutes, any cases that need to be postponed?
No, Mr. Chairman, we do not have. We do not have any cases to be postponed. However, the first case on the agenda, just want to make sure that everyone is aware that it's been withdrawn.
Okay. Do I need to read anything into the minutes on withdrawn? I don't think so. Okay,
Perfect.
all right. All right, we'll start off with the case number 2, which is 2024-3926-ZC. Existing zoning is CBF1 Community-Based Facility. Proposed zoning is HC2 Highway Commercial District, amended to HC1 Highway Commercial District. Parcel located on the north side of Manzilla Drive and on the east side of Marlboro Drive and on the west side of Frederick Drive, being 39299 Manzilla Drive, Slide L, Ward 8, District 13. It's 1 acre. Otis Favre Jr. is the petitioner. The owner is Wheels Property LLC, and this is in Council District 13. This was postponed from the September 3rd meeting. Staff?
As you are aware, this case was in front of you last month. It was a request to rezone to HC2 Highway Commercial Zoning District. I distributed the little packet here from the petitioner, and it shows, the drawings and the site plan, and additional information has been provided. After further discussion with the owner and the representative, and we looked at a site plan, it was determined that it would be possible for the property to be rezoned to HC1. It would fit the requirements of an office warehouse. So at this time, as you can see on your staff report, there's a request to amend the original request from HC2 to HC1, and this is what is in front of you this evening.
Okay, thank you.
You need the name.
26.
Otis Favre, right? Call
Yeah.
the applicant.
Right. I'll call it.
Call the applicant.
Pardon?
Call
No,
the
I will. I was trying to get my papers all straight now. Otis Favre? Good evening.
My name is Robert Hamill. This is Mr. Joseph Snyder. We're representing for Mr. Otis Favre this evening. He is out of town. And the packet I had presented would show you the site plan, the commercial building surrounding the building, and the present condition of the building. As you know, Mr. Otis Favre has been a local businessman for many years. He owns businesses that are located near Lake Pontchartrain. He purchased this building on Manzella Street so that he could move his accounting staff and files away from the lake. This building was built in the 70s and is over 15,000 square feet in size. It was built for commercial use, and in 2007, the previous owner of the property had the zoning changed to the CBF1, which he lived at the residence at this building, houses employees, and conducted business operations. The CBF1 zoning allows for churches, lodges, and reception halls, all of which could generate heavy traffic and possibly late hours of operation. We're petitioning to please change to the HC1, which will not allow for bars, liquor stores, and mechanic shops, which I believe the neighbors were concerned about last time we met. That was the reason for changing from 2 to 1. And Mr. Otis plans on having 6 employees there and working during normal business hours, and we feel this is a much better fit for the neighborhood and the surrounding area. I appreciate y'all consider.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor on this? All right, anyone wish to speak against? All right, I do have several cards here. Mark Jenkins. Okay, please come to the microphone. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I want to be clear that I welcome Otis there. I don't think we could get a better fit than that. I need clarification on the HC1 because I'm getting conflicting information that you can have restaurants and lounges and auto sales. If I'm wrong, correct me on that, but that's the only downside that we have with Otis is the zoning deal allowing certain things like that we don't want in the neighborhood.
Okay, Helen?
Just give us a moment to complete the research because we have adopted a new code. So if you want to just give us a moment, maybe you can hear the next person.
Okay, Mr. Jenkins,
Yeah, that's fine. I might have been looking at an old code, but
okay, I'm gonna lay your card off to the side right now and
Perfect.
move on to the next one.
So a restaurant with a lounge is a permitted use, but not a used car lot.
Okay. Mr. Jenkins? What was the other question?
that did answer the question. So a restaurant with a lounge is allowed,
Correct.
but no car sales.
No.
Well, I mean, since I'm at the microphone, I don't like that. Again, I welcome Otis there because I don't really think we're going to get anything any better than a nice admin office that's running Monday through Friday. But we all know how things go. Otis might be there 2 years, he might be there 22 years, whatever. It's just the downside of that open door that I have the problem with. I wish it wasn't a problem. I'd like to see them move forward. But I do have an issue with lounges. I mean, I think any of us would have a lounge in your neighborhood. I don't think anybody would like that too much, but that's just my only paranoia there.
Okay,
There's something like that happening.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Francis Pichon? Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioner, staff. My name is Bert Pichon. I live at 58464 Marlboro Drive. That's half a block from this property. I'm against it. It's surrounded by residential property. Well, I can say it's residential on all four sides. Now, the northern portion of the western side across the street is a car wash that is commercial. But the lot behind the car wash that's on the corner is not. It's still in the parish residential. I wouldn't bring this up because we can't do nothing about the past, but he said that this building was built for commercial use. That's correct, it was. But it was not built in a zone commercial piece of property. That was something that was all under the table deal that all happened. It's in the past, there's nothing we can do about it now. But highway commercial within this subdivision is just not the proper place for highway commercial. I'm not against what they would like to do. But actually we're not here to discuss what they want to do. What we're here for is to change the zoning. And that's going to be forever, whether they're still there or not. And it just don't belong there. That's not the place for highway commercial. So, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. I have two more cards. I'll call the names out, but both of them are marked, do not wish to speak. Judy P. Shawn and James P. Shawn. And those two folks are against, but they didn't wish to speak. So anyone else wish to oppose this that didn't turn in the card?
Francis P. Shawn turned in the card you didn't mention. Oh, it is? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna close it to the public and bring it back
We
to,
have rebuttal.
oh, okay, yes, rebuttal. Thank you.
We had done some research and discovered that every lot on the north side of Manzella is zoned commercial. And we pulled it up, and I have a copy to hand out. So that's from Tyler Drive to Frederick on the north side is commercial. The lot that's to the west of this one is behind the car wash, zone commercial. The lot next to that is commercial. Then there's a hotel that runs all the way to Manzella from Gauze, which is commercial. And then there's actually appears to be two lots on the south side of Manzella that are also commercial. One is a photo of a commercial building that someone's conducting business out of, and an empty lot next to that that's off of Tyler and Manzella. Now, a lot of that is zoned in the city of Slidell, but we pulled it up showing and highlighting that it's not all residential. It is residential where he's speaking, but where the building is, that whole strip is zoned commercial presently. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The other gentleman that spoke, do you wish to rebut?
No, sir, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm gonna close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Brittany Robert.
Yes, I just wanted to, first of all, thank you, gentlemen, for being patient, taking our comments at the last meeting, for waiting and coming back, and for also taking the community into consideration with your request. And with that, I move to approve.
Motion by Brittany Robert to approve. Commissioner Arsamont.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, thank you, Brittany, for saying that, Commissioner Brittany. Did want to say I am familiar with that property, and the main thing I'm looking at is something that's going back in a building that's really just sitting there. So I wish that would be all over the place at the moment, that we would try to make efforts there. Definitely understand the concerns, but I think y'all have done a great job by coming back with another plan after discussing. So I would second that.
Second by Commissioner Arsamont. Commissioner Narcisse.
My question is the same one I had from last time. Staff, I know y'all did a lot of research on this. Why not NC? Why not neighborhood commercial when everything around it is already neighborhood commercial?
Well, this was one of the questions that was, brought up last time, and we asked, the architect and the representative to submit a plan of the building itself, and most of the use inside of the building is warehouse, so it's considered as an office warehouse. An office warehouse is listed as a permitted use under HC1, but not in the NC zoning.
So in order for them to do what they need to do to make, so in order for, nobody here has a problem with what they're doing, but in order for them to do what they need to do, it has to be HC1.
That's correct. Yeah, because the majority of the building is not an office. The majority of the building is office warehouse. It's a
Storage.
warehouse.
It's a tough one. Okay.
Commissioner Troncoso.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Motion to approve carries.
Thank you. All right, the Next item is item 3. It's case 2024-3934-ZC. Existing zoning is L2, large lot residential. Proposed zoning is HC2, Highway Commercial District. Parcel located on the north side of Shady Lane and on the east side of Carroll Road, Slot L, Ward 9, District 14. It's .464 acres. Petitioner's Harold Burfick, owner's Harold Burfick, and the council district is 14. Staff?
This is a zoning change request to rezone this property from L2 large lot residential district to HC2 highway commercial district. As you can see on the staff report, it gives you a list of all the permitted use that could, be developed on that property. What we also wanted to bring to your attention, additional facts in regards to this property, is that in 2019, there was a zoning change request for our MHO, Manufactured Housing Overlay, which was approved by the council. Also, there was also a zoning change submitted for that same property to HC2 in 2022. However, it was appealed to the council, and the council did not vote in favor of this zoning change. So we did also the research to make sure that, the appropriate time as per the ordinance, there needs to be a 1 year before lap time before application can be resubmitted. And it was the 1 year total was fulfilled. So this is another request coming in front of you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, sir, and you are?
Mr. Burfick, Harold Burfick.
Okay. You
So
have,
as it was stated to the commission, this project came before you all a year ago for the rezoning of the property from the L2 to HC2, simply because the front portion of the property on Carroll Road was already zoned that. But for some reason, we cannot find any validation that that was the case. But I bought the property as commercial property. When I purchased it, the front portion of it was commercial, and the part on Shady Lane was residential, L2. So when I had it subdivided, I had to subdivide it as to one because I was paying taxes on, several pieces of property in that location. So once it was subdivided, everything went under L2 instead of the H2. So this is where the conflict is.
okay.
So I'm trying to get it back to H2. Even if the whole thing has to be H2, it's fine with me. But I'm trying to do this, they put this business there. I had no objection to, and none of the neighbors, they're the one that requested that I do this, to give them this type of business in the neighborhood. And I was just trying to do something to help the people in the neighborhood. So,
Okay.
but I ran up to this blockhead because of the problem with the previous zoning that could not be identified as. Of course, people know, even my councilman, my parish council know that the front portion was a commercial property because of the business that was there during that period of time from 1994 when I bought the property. So, I'm just asking the council if it would be beneficial to the community, not myself. I'm a retired veteran. I'm just trying to do something to help the community.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. I've got 2 cards here that are against, so let me call them up to speak, and then we'll go through rebuttal.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I got Thelma Ducree Jefferson. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Thelma Ducree Jefferson, and I do live at 36027 Shady Lane, and I'm a little confused about the zoning. So I want to ask my Chief Warhouse if she would speak on that for me.
Okay.
Good evening. What she's concerned about, her property, she's a lifelong resident on that corner, and her concern is the road is narrow, already coming out of Shady Lane. It's already really risky during the school time with the traffic in that area. I'm sure Mr. Burford do want to do something, but we're saying that area is already narrow. It's going to bring more problems to the Shady Lane community. And I do have a lot of tribal members in that community who asked me to come here and tell you all they were not in support. So this is me speaking on their behalf. They want you to take in consideration children walking to school at Carolyn Park and Bayou Woods. There is no sidewalk. So there's some serious issues that maybe later on, if can be corrected, can come back to the board. But right now, there's heavy traffic on Carroll Road during school and work hours. Can y'all please take that into consideration?
Okay. Thank you. All right, Melinda Glover. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Melinda Glover. I'm speaking on behalf of my aunt, Valerie Guzman. She is the owner of that property, not him. It is going through the court system right now. They've already submitted the paperwork. We didn't find out until after he already put the building on there. That's when she went through. Her lawyer has done all the title searches and all that stuff. He does not own that. She has paid all the property taxes since she got the property, since it was inherited to her. So we don't want it to be approved because it's not even his yet. It's still going through the legal system. So and if he was the owner, why would she get the note to appear here today if he was the owner of the property? That's all.
Okay, thank you. Legal?
Why don't are we finished with public comment? Why don't we do the rebuttal and then I'll ask you
Okay, all right. We go back to rebuttal. We'll have to deal with the legal portion after everyone's had an opportunity to speak. So, Mr. Burford? It's rebuttal time.
Yes, to the commission. I respectfully for what has been said from all concerned parties. As far as the legal aspect of this property, they coming in here for something that was done, that's, the attorney messed up. They were doing a secession. The property was sold before the secession was done, to me, and he puts it in the secession after it was already sold. You can't put something in secession that has been sold. You got to take that out. And he never took it out, so they didn't know. They didn't know that it was in secession. And so I don't have anything. If they thought it was a problem, to get a lawyer, let's go to court, let's deal with it. Don't bring it before the council, because this is not your responsibility. If you got a legal matter, let's take it to court. And we can settle it that way. I give them all the opportunity in the world. Get your lawyer, let's go to court. I paid for the property. That's why it's in my name. I'm paying the taxes on it. It's been subdivided. Every piece of that property belongs to me. You can see from the description. And as for the young lady that got up and spoke before, that is just personal. 90% of those children even live in the vicinity, in the area. 90% from the beginning of Carroll Road to the end of Shady Lane, from the church coming forward, everybody back there, they didn't want to ask me to give them this opportunity for this building, to sign a petition. Now listen, Mr. Commissioner, I don't have to do this. I really don't have to do this. I only trying to do something for the community. Now, if they're going to let someone come in here and stop what they want, then it's not fair. I don't have to do this. I'm only, like I said, I'm doing this for the community, not for me personally. I don't have to. So I would ask y'all to consider, you understand, what the people want, opposed to what someone to come with a personal vendetta against me and try to stop a project. It's not fair. I'm paying taxes on the property. Matter of fact, if we look at the map that have been described, and the last one I came up with, the last meeting I came with here, it said there was no other commercial property on on Carroll Road. And you identified 2 of them in your map that when that you're presenting to the commission. So I would ask the commission to approve this because it's for the people, not for me, not benefit me at all. I'm a Vietnam veteran, 20-year veteran, retired. I own several properties here in Slidell.
Okay, thank you.
I own property in Carolyn Park.
Well, your time was up, and we'll go to the other folks that spoke against, and then we'll bring it back to the commission.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me, either way, it doesn't.
Again, I'm not here speaking personally. I'm here as chief of the tribe, and my members are scattered across the parish. I did hear what he said. I'm here speaking because I do move through that area. My kids went to school in that area. I live on Dixie Ranch, but my members is lifelong residents of Shady Lane. And if there is a petition or strong support, they should be here to face you all and speak in form of support. But what I'm here for, because I was asked to come accompany Thelma Ducree Jefferson to say that the community is not behind that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to say that I would like to have this tabled until after the suit, because the suit has been filed for this property. So I would like to have this tabled until this is taken care of in a court.
Okay, thank you. All right. Do we go to you first, or to the people that, the commissioners that have?
I'm happy to try to respond. So I guess there's been some question about the ownership of the property, and you all as a planning commission are not here to adjudicate ownership. That is the job of the court. If in fact a dispute has been filed, you all are only here to decide land use and the appropriate zoning for this parcel of land. However, if you all are concerned that there is a question of ownership, that could be grounds to postpone the case, just so that you all know when someone comes to apply for a zoning change, they are required to submit an application and proof of ownership, and they're also submit a notarized statement saying that the information is true and correct and they are in fact the owner of the property, and that information has been vetted by the Department of Planning and Development, and based on what was provided to them, felt that Mr. Burfict could submit the zoning change application. If that is not the case and a court were to decide that he was not in fact the owner of the property, the parish could revert the zoning map upon proof, or if the parties that are adjudicating this issue were to get an injunction, then that obviously would be an order from the court that we could not move forward with the land use map. But that's not where we are as we sit here tonight. The only thing that we have in front of us tonight is the land use case. Is this an appropriate zoning change?
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to close this to the public and bring it back to the commissioners. You've already had a chance to speak.
No, I didn't.
No, it's discussion amongst the board.
Okay. So I'm going to, I've got 6 people that are, 6 commissioners up here that are wishing to speak on this. Commissioner Narcisse.
Very, very familiar with the area. I'd like what was said by the attorney to say that we're not here looking at the ownership of the property. I think regardless of who owns it, we have to get the zoning correct. HC2 is very, very intense for this area. I don't think it fits. Once again, I think this is a situation where maybe neighborhood commercial could be a play on the table. But until those conversations are had, I don't see HC2 fitting in that area. I'll wait and see what my other commissioners have to say before I make a motion, but we'll go from there.
Commissioner Troncoso.
I concur, Commissioner Narcisse. Last year when we went through this process, again, the issue is that, I mean, you're only 500 feet away from school. You're asking for a zoning, that classification that includes liquor stores. It's a higher grade of commercial, and frankly, everything around it is not that highly zoned. You have some HC1 and small storage, office storage buildings in the area. If you're interested in doing something for the community, I would suggest you may want to look back at what the opportunities would be to work within a zoning classification of of neighborhood commercial that would be in keeping. And certainly this is only my opinion, not that of the entire commission, but that may be what you may want to consider. I also want to thank you for your service, sir. And I understand your thoughts and desire relative to having a corner location, although being a little oddly shaped. But realistically speaking, I think the classification of zoning for this area and that your specific piece of property would be something under the below the HC designation. So I would make a motion to deny his request.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Troncoso to deny the request. Is there a second?
Four more.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Troncoso, right now I've got 4 people,
Sure.
commissioners, so we're gonna
Just
let
laying it out
let
there.
your motion stand,
Yes.
and we'll get the other ones in.
Yes.
Commissioner Arsamont.
Mr. Harrell, would you come up to the podium for a second, please? Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask him a question, sir. A question to you is going to be, what type of business were you going to put there?
New and used tires.
Okay.
But
That's the only question I was going to ask you. I just needed
can I
that
just
answer.
make a statement toward that?
Just
to the fact that I really was going to consider what the gentleman said over there, as far as to go with an NC, neighborhood commercial, if I couldn't get this done, simply because the property is no value to me the way it is right now, because I'm never going to put a home there. Okay, so the NC, if I couldn't get the H12, NC would be more appropriate to do something else down the line. So that's
Okay.
a consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Harrell. So, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I move that we give him a little assist and postpone. I move that we postpone this because I actually think there needs to be some clarity here. So my motion would be to postpone for 30 days.
Okay. All right, let me get the other commissioners in here, and then we'll take a vote on the 2 motions we have if we get a second. Commissioner Robert.
Yes, Mr. Perfect, I just so happened to be in the council meeting last year as a private citizen when you appealed the zoning change request for this case, and it sounded familiar when it hit my agenda for this meeting. So I did go back and pull the minutes from that council meeting where you appealed. And it does seem that this is a carbon copy of the last case that you previously requested a zoning change for. And so much so that many of the comments that you've made tonight are carbon copies also of things that you said in the last meeting. Number 1, that you were requesting to do this for the community. Number 2, that it used to be something else. It used to have a commercial property on it at some point, which the council did concur with at that meeting. But it was prior to Hurricane Katrina, so it was a very long time ago. And you did state again tonight that this was requested by the community and that there was a petition of some sort that was circulated with that, and we have not seen that. regardless of the outcome of the appeal last time, I do still believe that this is not a good fit for this area. The size of the property is, I cannot imagine putting a car lot on the property that size in the corner where it's located. If you are truly looking to do something for the community, I would suggest doing a true something for the community, some type of community-based facility. I just cannot imagine a situation in which this would be a good spot for a car lot of any type, simply because it is at the intersection of two roads, the shape of it, the property. And as many of the citizens have said in the past, zoning is forever. So if we do grant this, regardless of the potential lawsuit regarding ownership, this is still just not a great fit, in my opinion, for this area. I do believe that you, regardless of if you're benefiting or not, I do think that you have the best of intentions with it. And if you are truly doing something for the community, I think your best bet would probably be to get with the community to see what the need really is and what would fit this property. Because I would love to see you do something with it. Just not this. So with that being said, motion to deny. Seconded, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Gain to,
Yep, I'll withdraw.
okay. Commissioner Truxillo.
Yeah, I don't think this HC2 fits this area at all, in my opinion. But I want to ask legal something. Walk us through the process, and this is for our edification. The denial process or the postponing process.
So a motion to postpone is a procedural motion that takes precedent over a motion on the substantive matter. So if the motion to postpone were to receive a second, then we would vote on that motion to postpone. If that motion passes, then obviously the case would be postponed for 30 days until the next agenda. If that motion failed, then we would take up the substantive motion to deny. No, there's still a motion to postpone on the table. It has not yet received a second. I think we can now call for a second as no one else is in the queue. And then if it does not receive a second, we'll move on with the vote for the motion to deny.
Yeah, this is tough. If you go for denial, then he has to go for the council again, and if they deny it, then it's another year, correct? Is that
For this same zoning change from L2 to HC2.
Okay.
He could request a different zoning designation.
okay? Well, I'm gonna let it stand how it is, but thank you very much.
Okay. We've got a motion and a second to deny. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so we need to vote on that. Please vote.
Sorry. The motion to deny carries.
Okay. Mr. Burford, you understand that? All right, thank y'all. So we go, the next case, it's item 4. Case is 2024-3959-ZC. Proposed existing zoning is HC2 Highway Commercial District. Proposed zoning is HC3 Highway Commercial District. Location, parcel located on the east side of Louisiana Highway 59, on the south of Strain Road, and on the and at the end of East Luke Drive, Mandeville, Ward 4, District 11. It's 25.75 acres. The petitioner's Martin and Morgan Properties, Mike Soche. Owner is Sabrid 59 Investments LLC. This is Council District 11. Staff?
Mr. Chairman, we'd like to suggest to hear the next case as well, together 2024-3963 ZC, and vote separately. The two parcels are adjacent, and this is a very similar request.
Okay. Mr. Sosha, you have any problem with that?
Are they going to be heard together or separately?
Yes.
Together.
We'll hear them together. Vote separate.
Together would be much better.
Okay.
With the time combined for both cases, so 10 minutes?
That's correct.
Okay, item 5 is 2024-3963-ZC. Existing zonings HC2 Highway Commercial District. Proposed zonings HC3 Highway Commercial District. Location, parcel located on the north side of East Coop Drive, east of Louisiana Highway 59, Mandeville, Ward 4, District 11. It's 4.86 acres. Petitioner is N59 Ventures LLC, Mike Sochet. The owner is N59 Ventures LLC, and the council district is 11. Staff?
In regards to both of those parcels, the request is to rezone from HC2 to HC3. On your staff report, you can see the variety of proposed uses or potential uses for the entire parcel. And this is what you can make reference to, to see how the property could be developed.
Thank you. My name is Mike Sochet. I'm president of Gulf States Real Estate Services, also a managing partner in N59 Ventures LLC. The connection of these two cases are as such. A client of mine, Durham Properties LLC, has the 25.75 acres under contract. It is our goal to consolidate these properties. It was our goal 15 years ago, when I got involved with these properties and working with Church of the King, to eventually brand and place under one set of governance rules this particular piece of property. So we have been continuing to work with Church of the King throughout this process. We have always planned individually these two pieces of property to work together and have cross-access. Now we're going to have the opportunity for very likely co-ownership at some point in time. Whether that happens or not, we will have a cohesive project here located at this property, which is obviously under development, has been under development for the last 10 years or so. We have branded this area Little Creek, Church of the King at Little Creek. We plan to use the same signage and things of that nature across the entire piece of property. I do not have a specific plan to go over tonight. We're trying to get the zoning right, and then we will be spending a considerable amount of money doing our final market analysis, planning the property, etc. A small example of this is that we continually monitor what is going on with Church of the King. Just so y'all know, the church currently has 135 full-time employees. They have 300 employees across the region full-time. They also have a lead college, which is an affiliate of Oral Roberts University now, which has 100 students. So the church has continued to grow and prosper. They're a great client, as well as the church that I attend. So one of the things that they have indicated to us is they need office space, they need housing for students, they need housing for their employees. Very difficult to find housing right now. So one of the main reasons for us to request HC3 was to reinstate our ability to do multifamily on this property in various levels. It is a fairly large tract. One phenomenon that's occurring right now in this particular community, we have a residential division in our company. We have had well-to-do elderly folks who have hey, Mike, can you please sell our house, our large house? We want to downsize. We do not want to take the equity and go back into ownership. We want a very, very nice place to rent. They have those things in other communities. Frankly, we have some of that here, but not at the level that we're talking about. So we plan to have some different types of mixed use, multifamily uses on the property, and some residential mixed with commercial. One of the goals here is to have this project be walkable. We understand, having developed in this community for the last 35 years, the issues. Drainage, traffic, don't diminish my property values. Tomorrow morning, I have a meeting with the Assistant Secretary of DOTD to bring Highway 59 front and center to the state of Louisiana. I have the ability to do that because I've been appointed on Governor Landry's transition team to reform DOTD. I think everybody in this room would probably clap if they or agree that the DOTD needs to be reformed. We are actually using this particular project as a pilot program as to how things may happen in the future to improve roads that are stressed. Highway 59 is stressed, there's no doubt about it. We know we have to come up with a plan to fix that, but those things occur over time. And the first step is getting our zoning right and then spending the dollars to make sure that we comply with, frankly, all the new regulations that were just passed. I served for 7 years on a code rewrite committee, many meetings with you guys and council people and other groups over that time, and so I'm fully aware what's required in those particular realms. Lastly, there's a housing study going to be conducted by the administration in conjunction with the Economic Development Committee of the Council. I am the Chamber's representative to that Economic Development Committee of the Council, and have been weighing in on particular aspects of that housing study to make sure that the parish gets the scope right, because frankly, we are on the front lines of that, having the residential division, and recently hearing from a lot of our colleagues or clients that they have high-paying tech jobs, engineering jobs, veterinarian jobs, and one of our neighbors here is here tonight, that they can't fill. It's very interesting to me to have learned that over the last 6 months just through conversations with them. So I passed out some illustrations that I think the staff did a pretty good job of putting things together. I did want to mention that we do have some 8C3 on this property. That 8C3 was drawn specifically around the boundaries of a Rouse store that was proposed here some years ago. Rouse is likely not going to build at this location for various reasons, and so the technical aspects of trying to design zoning around a particular property line and having multiple zonings and what I call what would you call it, haphazard zonings within the confine of a large development is very, very illogical. Lastly, we, Church of the King, I have nothing against the concrete plant on Highway 59, but frankly, we want it to go away. And we're going to be making an effort to try and get control of that plant, move that plant. It is a temporary plant from the standpoint that it can be disassembled and moved. I do not have the news that we have that under control, but it is in our vision of this area, we would like to move that somewhere else, and we'll be working on that too. That's about all I have to present at this time.
Okay, and that covers both cases, right?
Both cases. I think
Okay.
the write-up by the staff is almost verbatim, and here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Soche. We've got a number of cards here on both cases. And I'll just start going through them and
There's no one else in favor, correct?
Pardon?
These are all opposed.
These are all opposed, yeah. Is there anyone in the audience that's in favor of Mr. Soche's presentation? You're in favor? Would you like to speak? Okay. All right. You're in favor.
I have another. I put another up here. I typed in other, but I do have questions.
Okay.
Not
All right.
for or against. At this point, I needed more information.
We'll get to it.
Okay. The first one I've got is 3959 Kelly Mathern. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
So far, so good.
So I'm a new resident of St. Tammany Parish for 2 years. I'm one of the residents of Maison Trace, which is directly across the street from this property. When I moved across the lake, I came from Metairie. I moved over here because there was a lot of trees over here. And right now, everywhere you look, there's hundreds of trees getting torn down. I mean, you can, Lonesome Road, Sharp Road, I mean, all along 59. So do I want to see more trees torn down? Absolutely not. I don't want anything to go there, but obviously, probably something eventually is going to go there. But right now, so many things need to be looked at between the traffic and the drain. I mean, traffic, number one. I mean, there can't be one person that drives 59 that thinks it's a smooth ride going from all the way down from the Trace up to I-12 and coming from the opposite direction. I mean, you have 2 traffic circles on 59, but that makes it flow a little bit. But I mean, this light right here, and yes, Church of the King has, they have the police that let the cars out on the weekends and whatnot. But, I leave at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and I'm still waiting for cars to pass to get out of Strain Road. My daughter just started driving a week ago, and she's petrified. She's literally petrified to pull out of Strain to go to her high school, which is almost walking distance, because of the amount of cars that she has to pull out of at 7, right before 7 a.m. My husband actually has to leave before she does so he can actually help her get across. There's no other way around. I mean, I think there may be some back road around Strain Road, and you come out back by, the church, and come out by the light by Popeyes. I mean, who wants to add another 25 minutes to their ride just to get out by a light? On top of the drainage, we're a new neighborhood. Yes, it floods at the center of the neighborhood at Calco and Strain Road every time it rains. We've made some phone calls. Nothing, we haven't heard anything yet, but we don't want it.
Okay,
Bottom
thank
line.
you.
Thank you.
How many cards do you have, just so they know how many people?
Mr. Chairman?
4, 6,
Mr. Chairman,
including
could you ask the persons that come up to tell us where they live exactly, their address? Please, so that we have an understanding of.
Yeah, I can give you that information. I've got it here on the.
Maybe they should just.
Okay.
They need to announce their address.
Did you need it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's Kelly Mathern, and I'm at 68926 Calco Drive, which is Maison Trace, the first neighborhood right off the Strain.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You may just want to announce that they have 10 minutes total for all the speakers, and you have 6 more cards.
Okay. We've got 6 more cards, and we've got,
7 minutes remaining.
pardon?
7 minutes remaining to split between all those 6 cards.
So we need to ask y'all to keep your presentation short. This is Ross Favalor.
Yes, sir. Ross Favaloro. I'm at 23056 Carter. I'm unprepared. I'm a father, a husband. I commute across the bridge 6 days a week. At the very least, I would just like some postponement for the community to understand what exactly a multi-use complex would be. If in fact apartments, I think that can mean a drastic change to the neighborhood as opposed to homes. For a lot of reasons we could all understand. My family's been on the Nosworthy side for over 30 years. So all of us often, if not every day, take Strain. We cut on a 59. I'd have plenty more to say if we could get a postponement, and I'd be happy to bring more from our community as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Gerald Dotrieve.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Jared Dotrieve. I live at 69196 Shire Court. It's right at, on Robert Road.
Mr. Ross is actually my neighbor. I drive for Holden's Wrecker Service. 7.5 years I've been driving these roads. I work about 140 hours a week. That tells you how much I'm on these roads. Every day I'm on 59. Every day, no matter what the hours, traffic. And flooding in Mandeville has gotten horrible.
Okay,
You said Highway 59 is stressed. Highway 59 is stressed because of all the development. You said you like the trees. The trees stop the flooding. We need those areas to let the water flow. I live in an area, been there since 2015, bought my house in 2015, was not in a flood zone. Paid $200 a year for flood insurance. My insurance just went up to over $1,000. Why? Because now I'm in a flood zone due to all the development here on 59.
Okay.
The development on 59 needs to stop.
All right, thank you. Jean Romage?
Good evening.
Hi.
I currently live in the subdivision Maison Trace, 68305 Friar Court. I currently marked it for against, but I'd also like to get a lot more information than what we currently have. I will also like to say that the strain on Strain Road, if more traffic, I know it's currently HC2, but to put it to HC3 would bring even more traffic than what's already capable of being built there. And unless there were plans to make Strain to be able to handle that, I am currently against it, because it is a neighborhood where there's tons of kids and we have school buses coming through there, and having all that extra traffic, I'd like to learn more information about what plans to go there so that we can also bring up the community.
Okay, thank you. Shannon Dardar, 186 Strain Road.
Good afternoon, guys. My name's Shannon Dardar. I live at 22186 Strain Road. Actually, my mother does. I live at 22208 Strain Road. I'm totally against this. Mason Trace originally was supposed to be an apartment complex. We came in here, we complained, we got a subdivision. We got the subdivision that the young lady, or the older lady over here said floods now, or it floods in the road. It could rain for days, showers, and that street wouldn't flood. It don't just flood there. It floods in front of my house and across the street from my house. It comes into my lot where my horses are. I would like to ask you guys, what do y'all consider rural? Because what y'all trying to do is not rural. We bought rural property in front of commercial property. We understand there's going to be businesses. That's okay traffic. It would have been awesome to have that Rouse's that he mentioned. You know, I love God. Okay, Church of the King wants this, and wants that. He's connected to this and connected to that. I'm not connected to anybody here. I've been living here 35 years, and I haven't seen one connection in this parish on the council that takes care of their rural people. Y'all don't dig the ditches. Y'all don't keep them cut. Okay. Every other parish I go to, ditches are clean, ditches are cut. Ditches don't go uphill when they get to 59.
Okay.
Water seeks its level. And my problem is not only that, the other lady said about the trees. Every tree that we rip down.
You need to wrap up.
Well, I traveled 3.5 hours to get here. I shut a dredging job down that is costing the person I work for $20,000 to lose. Maybe you could give us just a couple more minutes, because I've been here a long time. And I know y'all really don't care. And there's been times where I tried to do things here, sir. And one trailer in 2010 was too much of an impact on this area and this property. But now we're talking about coming with 250 units. So that's trailer on top of trailer on top of trailer. All these people, all this traffic. And I ain't worried about the traffic. I'm worried about what you're trying to do. You're trying to take commercial land and residential land, and you're trying to make it all big residential, and he's got some plans on the other side of the east side of Coop Drive, like it reads, and this is ridiculous. It's insane. We bought property to live in a rural area. This is not rural. My definition of rural and what I read on what rural is, this is not it. And I'm very frustrated because I can call and call and call and say, hey, come and dig my ditches out. Dig all the way to 59, from the back of Strain to 59, and dig them right. So the water does leave, but it doesn't leave. It ponds in. But it's not just that. When the power goes out, we don't have a place for all the waste that's going to cause this place to be producing to go. You know where it's going to go? In our neighborhood, because we can't get it fixed, and it's not public. This is go to 1088. Y'all, how many acres did y'all let them people destroy, or they destroyed, and then they found out, well, they couldn't do what they wanted. Right off of 1088, you get off, you go left, and there's over 100 acres, it looks like to me, that they tore all the trees down, piled the dirt up, and here we are. And we're choking on it. It's not, who cares about the church? What about the people? That's it.
Thank you. Leslie Levens, Jr., 22319 Strain Road.
Good evening. I've been on Strain since 1988. 2 years ago, we were right here again trying to fight the 252 apartments. I'm not for or against this project right now. I'd like to see it more definite plans and try to see what the ingress and egress is at the 59, because I'm like Mr. Associate there. We got to do something 59. We can't keep building and then shoving more cars into the traffic there. And we can't say the state's going to do anything for us because, I've been here since '88. Several interchanges took 20 years to put in. So, 59 is not on top of their list of priorities. So if there's anything we could do to help Mrs. Socia, if we could get something done, maybe with the roads as you start the project so that the infrastructure would be there when the project ends, may be a different story. So I wish we could postpone it till we get some more concrete evidence on how much longer it's going to be to improve the road and what the actual end product is going to be for their usage. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Brown just has other.
Hi, I'm Jim Brown. I own the property on 220053 East Coop Drive, veterinary hospital. I received this letter. I know Mike. He's assisted me in everything that I've ever had to incorporate on our property, and it's been very helpful. My question is, why go 2 to 3? I see those things on there. I'm not big on the zoning process or whatnot. What I don't want is something, it says impound lot. I don't know about the other people. I'm not big on having an impound lot on that area. I would just like to know what the plan, so to speak, is to go there. I've heard a number of things from Rouse's to other things going there, which I would definitely, like I say, welcome a grocery store or something like that. But I would just like to know kind of what the plan is for that. Just moving it from HC2 to 3. What's the philosophy behind that? Just to have the ability to add more things. If so, I guess I wouldn't want that, especially based on the community itself, but in the church's best interest as well, because there's a lot of people that come through there, and I really don't want any riffraff over there. And if you have that kind of thing there, where people inundated coming in and out, and influx and outflux people, that causes more crime. You just have more crime in that area. So I would like to find out more about it myself, being a member of the community, and go from there. I'm sorry to take up time because everybody took up so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all of the cards that I have. So we're gonna go to rebuttal. Mike, where'd Mike go? There he is.
I don't even want to call it a rebuttal. I'll just call it comments against comments. I hear them. I hear them all the time. I want to start with this. I have a reputation in our company in this community. Flowers Estates, Versailles, homeowners associations. We have never, ever, ever done anything we didn't say we were going to do or be sensitive to the neighbors around us. And I'll stand by that, and I'll die by that. I know it's very difficult for people. They want to plan. They want to see where the trees are going to be. They want to see all those things. As it relates to trees, the impervious cover for HC2 and HC3 are exactly the same. They're 50%. Yes, there are a couple of uses that are allowed in HC3 that are not allowed in HC2. If legally I can do this now, or I'll certainly commit publicly now, that there's a couple of things in there that I don't want in there. The church doesn't want in there. A bar without food. A transportation terminal. A vehicle impound lot. Or commercial recreation, what I'm talking about, like Pelican Park or something like that. That's not. And we have done private restrictive covenants before with neighborhood groups. I know the parish does not recognize those. That would be a monumental task to monitor that, but we have done that, and I'll sit here tonight and commit that those things we will not do, that we don't want to do, and to put those in writing in conjunction with your passing it on. But again, it's very tricky for you guys to attach yourself to that. The reality of the situation is right now in residential construction, single-family residential construction, there are only two groups I know that can afford to do it because they can offer their own financing. That's DSLD and D.R. Horton. I don't necessarily think that's what we want there, nor is that the highest and best use of this property, being located as close as it is toward the interstate. Planning Commission members of the community, St. Tammany Parish drainage requirements are some of the strongest I've seen in the country with the 25% reduction. They are, and we comply with them. The state, a project of this magnitude is going to require a traffic study, and that's why I'm getting ahead of it now. I know what's coming. The state is rewriting, as I mentioned earlier, their access control policy manual, which I've reviewed in detail. It is incongruent with St. Tammany Parish traffic TIA ordinance. We're trying to get those things congruent. This will be the pilot program in order to do that. There's a lot of hard work to do here, but again, it starts with the zoning. I can't get my partners to go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on, let's do this and let's go get the zoning after. The zoning is frankly where it starts. And we believe this is the highest and best use of that particular property, and that the HC3 is what the property deserves, and we will be very sensitive to how we come out of the ground.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. We'll go to rebuttal on those of you that were against, but I'll have to just allow you to come up. And how many minutes we got? 6? Okay, 6 minutes total. So come up and try not to take all the time. Let your neighbors have some time.
I just want to I don't know how to go about zoning, but how do we get this area rezoned to L1? 5 acres minimum per lot per home. That way the development stops. We have our trees. We don't have our flooding. We don't have the traffic issues.
Okay.
That's what we in the area actually want.
Okay, thank you.
I've been an appraiser for 33 years. When I first started, we had no zoning in this parish. We spent millions of dollars and came up with a zoning, finally. Then, just a few months ago, we redesigned the zoning again. So, you know, we can't keep changing. And like the young lady said, once you change the zoning, there's no going back. There's no guarantee that the Church of the King and these investors are going to do what they say. I mean, they can put it in writing all day, but once it's changed, the next owner, the next person that buys it can do something else. So before we do that, I think we ought to just find out what the final product is before we decide one way or the other on this project.
Thank you.
I just have to second Jerry. You know, people come to the North Shore for what it is, and the more it changes, I understand things change. There's, you know, development all across Covington and Ponchatoula and things like that, but it's no longer what it used to be. And I just don't want to see that in this area. It's scenic, it's serene, it's beautiful. People come here for peace and quiet and commute. I know this would change things drastically, and I'd just like to inform more people and hope y'all think about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Again, I'm against it. I'm not against businesses being developed on business property. I'm against us changing zoning, and I'm against us having to have another apartment complex try to be crammed down our throat that we can't sustain here. Nobody wants to put a red light by Strain Road. Nobody wants to put a red light by Little Creek right here. We're stuck. I'm not, because I really don't stay here. I'm gone most of the time. I'm working. But the people that are here, when I come here, I was 8 minutes late because they're right here. I didn't think I was going to make it when I got off over there by the interstate or on the interstate to get here. And y'all traffic solutions, you used to be able to go and leave Walmart and take a left, and where Home Depot is too and everything. But now you got to take a right, and you got to go a mile down the road and take a U-turn and come back the other way. What solutions do we really have for this traffic? Another stupid traffic circle where people speed up and you can't get out? I mean, this is, again, will one of y'all tell me what the definition of a rural area is? Can you? Can I get a response? No. But rural is not all this. Rural is your businesses in front, and we bought land to live in an area like this gentleman said over here, for it to be nice, quiet. We got trees, we got people around, but we don't have people crammed on top of people. That's my biggest thing, is we gonna have, and then what's gonna spill off? When he clears all that property, how many more animals are we gonna drive into the people's neighborhoods because they're crying, well, my cats are dead? Well, before that subdivision was cleared, I had 140 chickens run free all day long, cage at night. If I got 40, I got a lot now. So, you know, what about, like I said, the residents in that area that y'all are flooding out? We're not taking care of them now, but we're running on the promise every time y'all ask for our vote. We're running, and the guy I voted for, I don't know what your face looks like, but y'all run on the promise of taking care of us. You need to take care of us, because it's everybody. There's a lady that called me, Shannon, are you going to be here? We really need you to talk, because, you know, every time the littlest thing I tried to do, put a trailer in, I was told no. And yeah, I'm stealing a couple extra seconds. And it was going to be an impact. What is this impact going to be on us? You know, or is it just because Louisiana and St. Tammany Parish is the best parish to come to buy a politician and a judge? Because I tell you what, the last guy that was in office, didn't he go to jail for taking bribes? Well, my pockets are shallow. I have no money to give y'all. But if you think people are going to come and vote for you that are living in this complex, guys, come on. Most of them that live here, they're going to be here 6 months and gone. We're going to be ones here voting for y'all.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have time?
It was a minute. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I didn't hear right, but Mr. Soche said what he wants to do, he could do under the HC2. Did you say that?
A couple of months ago, I could. Can't now.
Okay. Because I was wondering why we rezoning if he's saying that he could do what he wanted to do. So he's changed his mind on what he wants to do.
The law changed.
I don't know anything about zoning, that's why I'm here. I'm just a mom that works, and I don't know anything about these things, that's why I'm here. I'm just here to voice my opinion on, we don't want it in our neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in rebuttal? You've already spoken, I'm sorry.
If you think the traffic is fixable, ride with me for 24 hours.
All right, you haven't spoke yet. Come on up, if you filled out a card.
No, I didn't fill out.
Well, speak and
Not a
then
real
fill out a
speaker.
card for me. No, go ahead and speak.
I'll give you my address, 22-150 Strain Road. I'm the property right next to the first house on the right of Strain Road. Been there since the 1950s, gravel road. Finally, y'all did a wonderful thing and blacktopped the road. Just to make sure on Strain Road, we average at least 20 to 30 vehicles in the ditch every year. Buses, school buses go in the ditch, AT&T trucks, cars, people get them towed out. The road needs to be widened, and we need a turning lane or something there. It's been neglected so long for the thing there. I was reading this about the changes. I didn't realize we wanted to put apartments, but I have a real hard time with entertainment, live performance, and a bar without food and stuff like that going there. Most of the other commercial things are fine with me in a way. I got mixed feelings with that. I'm not against things developing and growing. I just don't know what's taking place. But with this plan here, what they're planning to do.
Okay, your time's up.
That's good. But I just
Okay.
and just to include, I thank y'all for serving because this is a complicated job, and I know it's got to be a headache to handle. So I thank you for your service.
Get a card from over here, please, and fill it out and turn it into staff. All right. Everybody has spoken, rebuttal and cases. So I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Robert.
Yes, I have several things to say. So I do drive this every day. I live off of Highway 435 in Abita. I work in Hammond. I literally get stuck in this traffic every morning. So I actually do understand where all of you guys are coming from with that. I hate it too. It adds an extra 15 minutes to my commute, solid, every morning on 59. Sometimes it's backed up to where Nona Randazzo's is. I get it. I know it's a pain. I also grew up in this parish. My parents moved from Metairie less than 6 months after I was born, and I was raised in Covington. I have seen 190 when what is now 2nd and Charles used to be a Winn-Dixie. I've seen it when there was one red light in 190 and we didn't have all the crazy turning lanes. It drives me nuts now. However, I also understand. First, ma'am, I just wanted to let you know we are not appointed or voted on by the general public. We are not the parish council. We are appointed because of our expertise in certain areas. So we don't get paid for this. We are not voted in. This is more or less a volunteer position for all of the members here tonight. So if you are seeking your council person, I would highly suggest that you speak to somebody after to determine who that is, because it sounds like you may actually not be contacting the right person with your concerns, and I encourage you to do that. I also understand as a member of this community, though, that I come from a working class family and I cannot afford to buy up all the vacant property in St. Tammany as much as I absolutely would love to preserve everything that I grew up in this parish for, that I know. I love our trees. I love the lifestyle we have here. And I encourage all of you to speak with this property owner to maintain that. Because if I'm not mistaken, Church of the King is a nonprofit organization, correct? Yeah. So Church of the King relies on the donations to continue functioning and building these properties and doing all of this. They rely on the donations of the people in this community. Because you might have driven here 3.5 hours to voice your opinion on this, but I guarantee you nobody's driving 3.5 hours just to go to Church of the King every Sunday. Maybe some people are. So it sounds like they are in a position where you guys have the upper hand, because Church of the King, like I said, is a nonprofit organization, and it sounds like they are amenable to listening to the community. So I would encourage Mr. Soche to speak with the people who live in this area. Outside of that, tonight we are not here to approve plans for anything, and the conditions for requesting a zoning change request are very loose. They're not required to tell us anything about what they're wanting to do with this property. They're not required to tell the general public anything about what they're wanting to do with it. They're doing that as a courtesy, and I think they have been very forthcoming with the information. Additionally, the uses on top of HC2 that bring us to HC3, dwelling, multifamily, bar without food service, cemetery subject to minimum standards, entertainment, live performances, funeral home or crematorium, hotel, recreation, commercial, transportation terminal, vehicle impound lot. At this point right now, they could sell this property and they could build animal service, art studio, athletic field, auto repair and service. There is a laundry list of uses for this property as it's currently zoned HC2. And somebody could come in and build that and not have to come in front of us. So I think that as members of the community who live in this area, you currently have the upper hand with this to speak with the property owners who sound like they're trying to make an effort to please the people who live in this area and their community. And I do think that there is some middle ground that could be come to. In terms of the plans for this property, I just had the planning and development team send me the link from the Code Unified Development Code of Ordinances for the parish. Whenever Church of the King, if this were approved tonight, whenever anybody deigns to develop that property, they would have to submit the following items. An assessment or parcel number, describe the land. I mean, this is all a building permit. Valuation. The majority of what needs to be submitted, a tree survey by a licensed arborist, stamped landscape plans that show that the property does not exceed a certain percentage of impervious surfaces, which would be like concrete. They also have to submit a hydraulic analysis, paving and drainage plans, utility plans. They have to submit traffic studies. I'm assuming that the little wires I drove over on 59 today, was that from you guys? Are y'all already? I've noticed them today on the way in here. So the list of what they have to provide in order to get any plans approved is also very extensive and requires a ridiculous amount of engineering and money and time to go into. So right now, they are not obligated to submit anything outside of the request. So I encourage you all to continue communications with the property owners because it does sound like they're taking your feelings into consideration.
Commissioner Troxello.
Well, I have a few things I would like to say. Some comments was made out there about these commissioners. We take this very serious. It's difficult up here. There's a balance between property owner and residents of the parish. A property owner has a right to develop their land according to the ordinance and the specification of the parish. And that includes drainage, that includes traffic, that includes a lot of things, okay? But every person up here, men are very serious about this. It's difficult to make a decision when you got so many people for or against it. I mean, it really is. And look, we understand y'all. We definitely understand y'all. And it's a job that is thankless, but we do it because we want to help the community. Number two, I also was saying about ditches not being clean. The parish, St. Tammany Parish, does have a program that they clear ditches every year. Now, do they clean all of them every year? No, because they don't have enough manpower or money to do it. It takes a lot of money to clean these ditches, and they do it sections at a time. It may take them 5 years to touch every drainage ditch, every bayou. But they do have a program for it. and it costs us millions of dollars because you got permitting, you got all kinds of special equipment you could go in there and take care of it. So this is a tough one. Again, we're only talking about zoning. So I'm gonna make a motion to approve.
For case 243959.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve 2024-3959-ZC. Okay, we've got other people in the queue. Is there anything else, Phil? Bill?
I'm done.
Okay. Commissioner Arsamont.
Yeah, real briefly here. So the passion of our citizens and the community is going to be always number one, but there's also reasoning and looking at what's in front of us. This is not going to be a planning discussion. It's a zoning discussion. But please don't ever stop the passion and the concern, because that's how some of the things get answered. I do recommend that if there are some issues which were brought up with the parish utilities or parish maintenance and all that, I think you need to continue to seek that out. What I do like to say, though, is sometimes our folks come to these meetings because it's the only opportunity to be heard. In some cases, the planning hasn't even come up yet, but you want to be heard. So don't stop being heard, but just understand that some of those decisions are based on what's in front of us at the moment. And then as things get more detailed, trust me, these commissioners will take those seriously and make sure that it's at the best interest. So with that, I would second the motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Narcisse.
My thought process would have been to postpone for a month and get a community meeting and let Mike bring in all of his slides and let people see exactly, not exactly, but maybe some rendering, some idea of what is going in. Because I don't think anybody's necessarily 100% opposed. There's this fear of not knowing what it is. And I think Mike has also said, like, hey, we don't know what it is yet, but I think a month or two would give some time to say, hey, this is what we're thinking about. I think that would be a lot more amicable approach to this than to just say we're going to HC3 right off the bat. I really think just nobody here said, hey, heck no, we're not going. Like, nobody was there. It was like, hey, we don't know what this is and it scares us. And I think a community meeting to say, where it's just you guys, where there's not 6 other things on a docket, where you can get your concerns across and it can be a conversation. I think that would be more amicable for this situation. I don't know, legal, if I can make that motion. I know it supersedes, but I don't know if we already have a motion in the second.
No, you can make a motion postpone and it would supersede as long as it gets a second. We'll take that motion up first.
Okay. I would make that motion to postpone for 30 days in preparation for a community meeting where you can discuss these things.
Now that's on 3959, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would go for both, but we'll do one at a time.
Well, you got to do them separately.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Troncoso.
I think that it's a very tough situation. I live about 3 minutes from where you are. I understand exactly what you all see and experience every day, because I pretty much experience it as well. The issue really comes down to some basic fundamental marketing things that happens in proximity of where you are in relationship to the interstate, the nature of Highway 59 and what it is. There are 5 state highways that are arteries that feed I-12. 1077. What's that 1077? 1077 is going to be gas stations. They're proposed. There's some that are coming in. You have Rouse's there at the intersection at 1085 and 1077. it's commercial. You have large storage facilities. We all know about Highway 21. You've got every major commercial activity you can imagine that's there. Target, Sam's, Costco now. Highway 190, we know what that is. We'll skip over 59 and we'll go to 1088. And 1088 is now going to be an industrial, a planned industrial, light industrial development. Closely scrutinized by the parish. Sure, they cleared it all out. But where are we? We're right off the interstate system. It's not a rural nature. Things have changed. I've been here since 1980. I understand. I've seen the growth of the parish. This is how it is growing. This is how things naturally grow. Now, Highway 59 has every creature of a commercial nature already in place, and then some with light industrial. And they've got a concrete plant. They've got there's two industrial parks. There's a dump area. It has a little bit of everything. Is it going to change? And the question is why? Why is it that way? It's there because it's Highway 59. It feeds to I-12. The people and the traffic and the reason those businesses are there is to feed off of what the experience and what is happening to the street. So it's natural, and it's a natural marketing critical mass issue. And you're in that area, unfortunately, if you don't like that commercial activity. Absolutely 100%. 59, that's a state highway. It's not a parish control. It needs to be widened. It will be widened one day, but it's a matter of when. These type of zoning classifications, in my opinion, is a natural thing to happen for that area. I'm talking from somebody that can hear Fontainebleau's band on Friday night, okay? I can hear it. In fact, I hear traffic. Some of my neighbors think we hear traffic off of I-12. So I understand what the situation is. But realistically speaking, this is the nature of this area. And it is not going to change. And frankly, it shouldn't change. It is what it is. It is a natural feeder road to a major interstate system. It's a main artery of the parish. And so for that, I definitely concur and agree with the opportunity to increase. The planning aspects, everybody covered off on that already. These are the things where you can be even louder as to what happens. You don't know what's happening. They don't have, as I said, they don't have to make any presentation or let us know what it's going to be. But when the time comes for that, that's where you need to be louder and express yourself and as to what it should be, and get involved and give input into this thing. The parish has the rules relative to development. They're there. It's just a matter of, whatever plan they come up with, it is. Now, one of the things I'm a little concerned about, but I understand it, and I really would like a question, Mike, on this relative to the fact that the zoning classification increases the building size to up to 250,000 square feet. Are we looking at, can I ask him to come up? Mike, could you come up, please?
John.
Is there a potential of big box here?
I don't think so. I think they're already here. They're all here.
Well,
I mean,
that's true.
like it or not, I brought Costco here 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the shopping center convention. They didn't go on the corner of 199 12.
Mm-hmm.
They went where they went. But I like Costco, and I think a lot of people like Costco. I
Right.
think a lot of people like Popeyes, Starbucks, Smoothie King.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I did when I got back from being a week of vacation, I stopped at Popeyes and got me Popeyes chicken because they didn't
Right.
have it on the West Coast. So again, I know it's difficult for people. You are exactly right. There's a lot of things that need to happen. I am fortunately, we, St. Tammany Parish is fortunately in the room at DOTD. If any of y'all seen the play Hamilton, you got to be in the room. We're in the room. And Governor Landry has a whole different attitude toward the DOTD, how they should be more of a service organization, how they should serve and work closely with the communities, because it wasn't like that in the past.
Right.
So I'm when I mentioned Church of the King. If you drive in Church of the King parking lot, it is impeccable. I want an impeccable development there, something that people can be proud of. And again, you mentioned the Rouse Food Store. That is my development on Highway 1085. That is, people come from Hammond, East Hammond, to shop there because it's such a nice store.
Right.
Rouse tells me they wish it was bigger.
Right.
But as it relates to your question regarding the buildings, I don't foresee a building being 200,000 square feet. That is
Mhm.
not what we're trying to accomplish here.
Right.
Sam's is here, Walmart's here, Costco's here. People want Trader Joe's. They're not 200,000 square feet. They're about 30,000 square feet.
Right.
So that is not our goal.
Thank you.
Mr. Narcisse? Yeah, I think if we go ahead and approve this zoning change, the public won't get another opportunity to have a meeting like this to address their concerns. Was that? It wouldn't necessarily come to planning if they're inside of the realms of their zoning classification, right? Am I wrong on that?
These are two separate cases. It's my understanding from Mr. Soche's presentation that they would be combining these lots through the minor subdivision process. I'm not sure if that could be done administratively or if that would have to come before the planning commission for the minor subdivision to combine the properties.
So, gotcha, okay.
And I just also wanted to make sure that everyone from the public is aware that this is just a recommendation body. They will be recommending a zoning change to the parish council, but only the parish council can approve the zoning change. So if you wanted to appear at that meeting when they actually take up the ordinance to change the zoning map, that would be an appropriate time to let the parish council know, the elected officials know how you feel about this case.
So with that information, you do have another opportunity to appeal to the council. When they try to put the pieces together on this property, you got a chance to come to planning and redress your case there. I'm going to withdraw my motion to postpone. However, I do really think there should be a community meeting on this either way. Probably before the planning, before all of that. And just get the community together and talk about this before it moves forward in one direction or another. I think that's just operating in good faith and good humanity.
Do you have a second on the,
Yeah, he withdrew it.
pardon?
He withdrew it.
Oh, you withdrew it? Okay, so we've got,
Mr. Gaines is in the queue.
okay, John?
So I wanted to, everybody made some great comments. I want to clarify just something with staff. The only reason this is before us is because of the zoning change that happened, that his use case is no longer permitted under the current zoning. So if that had not happened, he would not even be coming before us to ask for this zoning change tonight. Is that correct?
This is a zoning change request. There's a variety of uses under the HC3. So I'm not here to
But-
speak about a particular, a use in particular.
So, Mr. Soche, could you come to the mic, please? So, am I correct in that the only reason why you're requesting the zoning change because the permitted use that you were looking for was removed from the current zoning?
That is the primary reason. The secondary reason, to have a consistent zoning across the property, that is unlike what exists now with the particular
So what
property
was
lines
the,
built
what was,
around
what was the
building.
permitted use that was removed from HC2 that you're seeking to use in, under HC3?
Multifamily.
Multifamily. So had that not been removed from HC2, you wouldn't even be here.
Very likely.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So this is thank you very much. Appreciate it. This is more of a corrective measure because of the zoning changes that the parish did at the parish level. A lot of the questions and comments that you guys made are, you want to know what the plan is. That's in the planning meeting. This is zoning, so we just changed zoning here. They're going to actually come back with a plan. If it's a major development, they have to come before us for approval, and that's a time, one gentleman talked about the narrowness of Strain Road. That would be addressed in the planning as well. So zoning is just identifying permitted use. All of those other concerns are really addressed during the planning phase, which they would have to come before us again for that project. I just want to make sure everybody kind of understands this is not approving them for any kind of project that they've got in the works. They don't have anything. This is just outlining, giving them permission to pursue potential projects and then come before us again under the planning meeting to get approval for those projects. So this is not the end of the road. This is just the very beginning. Okay? Thank y'all very much.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would like to clarify something here. You know, while there's a possibility that the owner may have to come back in front of the planning commission if they decide to subdivide the property, the uses permitted under HC3 will not be discussed at that meeting. Will not be discussed at that meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Truxillo.
Call for a vote.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on case 3959. Please vote.
Motion to approve.
To approve.
Motion to approve case 2024-3959 ZC carries.
Okay. So we will go now to vote on 2024-3963. We've already heard the for and against. Motion to approve by Horseman. Right? Okay. Do I have a second?
I second.
John, that was you?
I second.
Okay. So we've got a motion and a second on 3963. Please vote.
All right, just to state into the record, because your mics weren't on, Commissioner Arcemont, you made a motion to approve. Commissioner Gaines, you made a second.
I'd like to make the motion, yes.
Okay, can you can.
Yes. I'd like to make the motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
And John, you seconded, right?
I second.
Okay, you got that? You ready to vote?
Yes, the vote started.
Okay. Please vote.
Motion to approve case 2024-3963 ZC carries.
All right. Thank y'all for coming.
We have one more case.
Yeah, I know. Let them get it. Yeah. Let everybody that wants to leave get out and.
You can have a seat right now, and then we'll call you.
What are you guys here for?
All right. No. It will be published on the website and also
It's the first Thursday of the month. And you can check sttamanyparish.gov website to look up the agenda for the council meetings. It will not be on this one. It'll probably be in November. Thanks.
Okay. Thank y'all. We go to item 6. The case is 2024-3972-ZC. Existing zoning is S1 Suburban Residential District. Proposed zoning is S1 Residential Suburban District and MHO Manufactured Housing Overlay. Location, parcel located on the southwest corner of Ruby Street and Hickory Street, being Lot 9, Square 5, Slidell Manor. Subdivision being 1433 Hickory Street, Slidell, Ward 9, District 11. It's 0.2 acres. The petitioner is Cheryl Grant, and the owner is Julio Cesar Murillo Alvarenga. That's not right either. Staff?
This is a 0.2 acre parcel that is located on the corner of Ruby Street and Hickory Street. As you can see on aerial, there's currently a mobile home on the property. However, that mobile home does not have power at this time, so it's no longer grandfathered in. This is a request to rezone the property to either replace this mobile home or get power back to this mobile home to be able to establish their residence on the property.
Okay. Thank you. I need somebody to come to the mic. Good evening.
Good evening.
You have anything you want to add to the staff's comment?
Yes, I try to speak because of course I don't speak too much well English, you know. But the only point need is the permit for put a new trailer, the mobile home over there.
Okay. All right. Well, since you're the only public here, I'm going to close it to the public and bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Robert.
Yeah, I looked this up. Every property that I highlighted in blue on this piece of paper currently has a mobile home or manufactured home on it. It's completely surrounded. I move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Robert to approve. Commissioner Arsamont.
And yeah, I have about an hour conversation. No, just kidding. Actually, I'll vote 2 seconds.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Please vote.
Motion to approve carries.
Thank y'all.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. Is there any new business? Any old business?
Motion to adjourn. Oh, you took it away from me, Phil.
I'm sorry.
I wanted the last one. Go ahead.
All right, we got a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second, but I have a question for Helen and Aaron before we adjourn. Something I want to, not pertaining to this case, just something I want to clarification on from our last planning meeting. In our last planning meeting, we voted to amend an ordinance regarding the planning commission meetings. I remember the gentleman in the back, I'm so sorry, your name escapes me at the moment, but Mr. Carlos, we had discussed something that would have required certain cases to come before us, and can you clarify what exactly the changes that, per the UDC rewrite, what this will look like? I'm particularly interested in development plans like the one we just heard, if there's anything that would compel them to come before us again in the future, or if that's related.
No, so I think I'm hearing two questions from you. One,
yeah, they were, I'm sorry.
No, well, I just want to make sure I'm answering the right question. So are you asking me, there's a round of amendments, it's around 4 amendments that's being introduced by council on Thursday. Are you asking me, I know y'all cast a vote, and it was to remove, I think it was items 3 and 4 from policy changes, which would stop requests for planned corridor, which is in Highway 21, from coming to y'all if it met all the requirements. So y'all didn't like that. Y'all want to hear all requests. So we removed that, and that's going on to council with that recommendation.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Okay.
Thank you. And I second the motion to adjourn.